Okay, I'm going for a walk for a kettlebell warm up. This is probably the third time that I've tried to make this video, so here we go. I wanted to talk about a recent post that I'd put on Instagram about my body card. Sorry, my body is not my business card. And I just wanted to speak a little bit about where that came from. Because I used to be somebody who believed that health and fitness had a look. When I first became a fitness instructor, I very, very much believed that I had to look a certain way in order to be credible. I was submersed within diet culture. I had my own internalised fat phobia. It was only until about 5 years ago that I discovered body positivity, that my belief system, I began to question my belief system. And slowly, I came to the realisation that all bodies can be good bodies, and that, we shouldn't judge people by the size of their body. I must admit it took me a further 4 years until I truly started unpacking and acknowledging my fat phobia. And as I've already spoken about, that was all linked in with a different challenge that I did. We've been indoctrinated into fat phobia, and I looked at what fat phobia actually means, the definition, and it's a fear of obesity or becoming obese. I mean, obesity already is a pathologising of bodies. It almost equates fat to a disease, which is wrong in all kinds of ways, especially as science is moving forward. Even just doing my research for an exercise prescription after a patient suffering a myocardial infarction, which is also known as a heart attack, led me to find literature on cardiorespiratory fitness being one of the most superior indicators of health, above cholesterol levels, above blood pressure, above BMI and body fat levels. So this idea that we've been sold that being fat is, the definition of our health is so untrue. And I really do think that we need to start truly unpacking our beliefs and where that comes from. It's a fat phobic society that we live in, and so obviously those beliefs become internalised. So there's this pressure on personal trainers to appear to be the epitome of health and fitness. But what people fail to realise is that the behaviours that lead a personal trainer to be lean all year round are rarely the epitome of health. And maybe those are the questions that we need to start asking. Maybe personal trainers, we need to start being more open about how we maintain those figures, those physiques. A client would say that they would want to, they would use their personal trainer as inspiration. But would they really want that physique if they knew what it entailed? And do they understand that without disordered behaviours, those physiques sometimes aren't even achievable? I think we need more transparency within the industry in regards to that. And also, maybe as clients, we need to push back a little bit, be more accepting of plus size personal trainers, be less judgmental, because it's those external pressures too that put people off becoming personal trainers if they don't fit a mould, which means we're missing out on so much knowledge and experience within the industry because of people's preconceived notions of what a fitness professional should look like. So even as, clients of fitness, we're pushing that standard too from our expectations. So how can we help combat this? I would say that as personal trainers, be more open and honest about the health behaviours or the behaviours that you have to participate in order to have a lean physique all year round. Clients, you could start asking them, ask how they are able to maintain that physique all year round and see what they say. I think that as clients as well, we could do with being more, less judgmental. You know, do your own work a little bit, look into the systems of diet culture, you know, read up a little bit on fat phobia before you decide, you know, which personal trainer you're going to hire. Just do a little bit of background. Check in, ask them a few questions. You know, because if you are using them as your inspiration, is it a healthy inspiration? Are you ever going to be able to attain that? Will it push disordered behaviours onto you if you do try to achieve their physique? I think from an ethical point of view, it's important for us to be transparent, because the behaviours that it takes to achieve thinness can actually set people up for long-term psychological issues. It's a well-known fact that people who participate hello people who participate in diets are more prone to developing eating disorders and body dysmorphia and have negative feelings towards their body. So from an ethical standpoint, I think this is a conversation that we need to be having more. I think what worries me is, like, when I speak about this, the amount of people that talk about how they actually gave up being a personal trainer because they gained weight, or people who really want to become a personal trainer and feel that they can't because they don't fit in within the mould of the industry. You know, and it's really quite sad that people can't pursue their dreams because of how they feel they will be received, and we do have to take responsibility for that. So maybe do something different. Hire a plus size personal trainer, or ask a non-plus size personal trainer how they maintain that all year round leanness. And yes, they will equate it to hard work, because that is another stigma of people in large bodies. We're stigmatised to be lazy, and that is so untrue. And the thing is, it is hard work, I suppose, to maintain thinness, because it basically takes over your life. You're constantly distracted. All of your behaviours, you know, are chosen to maintain a physique or a certain image. But just because it's hard work doesn't mean that it's healthy. And I think that's something that we need to be reminded of. So yeah, I suppose the takeaway is open your mind a little bit more. Don't bypass plus size trainers. You know, at least have a conversation with them. Have a conversation with non-plus size trainers. See if you actually align with their own health behaviours. And definitely do a little bit of reading in regards to fat phobia and how it internalises and affects people negatively, and how that has a massive impact on personal trainers, because we're human. You know, we have mental health issues too. And I suppose it's just about understanding how that can impact an individual, all based on the size of their body and nothing to do with their credentials, their knowledge, their experience, their abilities. I mean, how dismissive is that really when you think about it? Oh yeah, I almost forgot. Shout out to Popeye's Gym. Well, I'm a member and I've never ever seen them peddle weight loss. Not in the gym, not on their Instagram. So yeah, that's been a bit of a refreshing change.